Hi, everybody. Hi, welcome to today's Feature Spotlight webinar. Thank you for joining. Hey, my name is Abby. Well, welcome to Mangomint's Feature Spotlight series. Today, I'm really excited to cover payroll processing in Mangomint with you. So I'm going to show you how to make Payday a lot easier using our full service built-in payroll processing solution. So when you use our new payroll processing, it's going to let you, get rid of outdated third-party payroll systems that you may be using right now and really let you bring your entire payroll process inside of Mangomint to really streamline everything. So when you use our payroll processing, you'll be able to pay your W-2 employees and your 1099 contractors on time while we handle all of the other details. So we're going to handle all of your tax payments and tax filings for your local, your state, your federal taxes. And we're really going to work with you to make sure that you stay compliant when it comes to all laws and regulations that surround payroll. So I'm really excited to show payroll processing to everybody. We have been making a few enhancements to payroll already since we released it at the end of last year. We released it about in November or so. So, even if you're already using payroll or if you watched our payroll processing launch webinar, I think you'll see some new information, see some new updates that we've added to payroll processing recently in today's webinar. And if this is your first time seeing payroll processing at Mangomint, I'm really excited to show it to you. So let's go ahead and jump in and check out payroll processing in Mangomint. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. Okay, perfect. And of course, if you can't see it for any reason, just put a note in the chat. And here we will go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm here in my Mangomint account. So first, let's go ahead and take a look at an account that hasn't yet enrolled in payroll processing. So I can give you guys a bit of a peek into that process and see what that onboarding process looks like when you actually sign up for payroll processing. So I'm here in my calendar view, but in a minute, we're gonna hop over to a different screen. And I do wanna point this out to you before we get too deep into all the details here. There's a bit of a process when it comes to actually signing up for payroll processing. So if you're listening and you would like to start using our built-in payroll processing, the first step is that you're going to have a quick call with our support team. And that's just going to be about a 15 to 20-minute call. You'll chat with our team to ensure that it's going to work well for your needs, especially when it comes to something like payroll. There's so many different details and it varies so much, from state to state and things like that. So we want to make sure that this is going to be a really good solution for you. So after you have that call with our support team, then you're going to complete your employer enrollment. And that's just going to consist of a few steps. I'm going to show you some of that process. So we're here in the calendar right now in Mangomint, but what I'm going to do now is actually go over to settings. So let me go ahead and click on that. And then right here, I'm going to click on business setup. So we'll click that. And then we'll just click on payroll processing. So there we have it. This is the payroll processing tab. And something to keep in mind is as you guys start this process, you are going to need your federal employer identification number and your bank account information. So make sure you have that handy before you get started. So let's go ahead and click sign up now, and I'll show you guys a bit of this onboarding process. So again, that's the information that I said before that you will need to have on hand. Let's click continue. So here, now we get to select which staff members you'd like to enroll in payroll processing. So we can just select a few to enroll. As you can see, we already have all of these are auto-selected. If for some reason you didn't want to enroll a certain staff member at this time, you would just go and just disable them. But I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set up everybody here for payroll processing. So let's click continue. And then of course, this is just letting me know that there is an upgrade required. The cost for payroll processing, something to note here, and you can see here on the screen, it is $50 per month, and then it's an additional $8 per month per worker. So that's just something to keep in mind there. So let's go ahead and click confirm. And then now we are setting up payroll. So this just takes a couple moments to go through these steps. It's getting everything ready so that we can continue that setup process. Okay, perfect. Okay, great. So now we can see here, this is where we will start adding some additional employer information. So this information, it's really meant to personalize your payroll onboarding experience. I'm not going to go through every single step and fill out every bit of information here during today's feature spotlight. As you can see, there's quite a bit of information to add, so we don't have time to go through everything. And I don't think you want to watch me literally filling out every single field here, but I will fill out some of the fields just so you guys can get a bit of an idea of what that process will look like when you go to do this. Okay, so first what we're going to do is add our desired first payday. And this is here under Let's Get Started. So let's just click on here. And again, the first step is to add that first payday. So what I'm going to do in this example, I'm just going to choose a date in February. So I'm going to choose February 16th. And again, it says right here, you can change that date later if you need to. And then it just asks, will this be your first payday in 2024? I'm going to go ahead and say, yes, it will be. And then go ahead and click save. And then we've completed our first step. So our next step here is we do need to add our work location for the employer. So let me go ahead and click start. And then this is just where you add the street address for your work location. So I'm just going to go ahead and add an address here. Okay. And then this is going to be in Orlando, Florida. So just go ahead and add that information. Okay, perfect. And then we'll just add our zip code. All right, excellent. And then this is just, you can mark this if it's the default work location, and then is this the principal address? So I'm going to leave both of those enabled because this is going to be the primary work location and the default work location in this example. So now I'll go ahead and click save, and we'll just let that save for a second. Okay, perfect. So now we can see here we have added that work location. So of course, if you wanted to add additional locations, you could add those. But for now, I'm just going to add that one. So let's go ahead and click done. And so now we've added our work location. Our next step is that we're going to set up our pay schedule. So let's go ahead and click start. And again, this is where you can add your pay group. So you may be wondering, what is a pay group? If you haven't come across that term before, a pay group is simply a group of workers that are paid on the same frequency. So for example, if you have a group of managers that are paid monthly, for example, those would be on a single pay group together. If you want, you could have different pay groups. But in this example, I'm just going to make one pay group just to keep things really simple for us. So I'll just call this pay group 1. And again, you can name these pay groups whatever you want to. And then this is where we will actually select the pay frequency. So I'm just going to choose every week in this example, and then we'll just add a couple more pieces of information. So we'll add that first pay date. And again, that was February 16th. So I'll go ahead and click that. And then the first pay period will end. You can choose that as well. Oh, sorry. There we go. Okay, perfect. Now we came back up here. All right, and I'm going to choose this. And then, so now I have the first pay period will end on February 22nd, 2024. Again, this is just for demo purposes. So, but you can choose whatever dates make sense for you for your pay group that you're setting up. And then this is really nice here because if you scroll down, once you add that information up top, you can preview the upcoming paydays. So I really like this. You can go and you can see all of the dates for the different pay periods that are upcoming, as well as all of the upcoming pay dates for the next, 4 different paydays. So I really like that. And then if we scroll down here, this is where you can actually add your workers into the pay group. So I'm just going to go ahead and add all of our workers into this pay group. Okay, so let me go ahead and click save on that. Okay, excellent. So now we've set up our pay schedule. So the next step here is we're going to get our team ready, and I'll show you a little bit about filling in some of your tax information. So now we're going to add all of our workers and make sure that they're ready for payday. So go ahead and click start. And this is where we get our team ready. So this is really important here. This is where you select your worker classifications. So right here is where you're actually going to select whether each worker is a W-2 employee or a 1099 contractor. Now, something to point out here as well Just a little tip here. If you are unsure at all, about whether one of your workers is classified as a W-2 employee or a 1099 contractor, definitely be sure to consult with your CPA about that. They'll be the best resource to give you advice on that to make sure you're setting up the right classification and remaining compliant with all laws and regulations. So definitely consult with your CPA in case there's any confusion, either during this step, or if you have other, questions during these other, when we go through like the tax information, things like that. If you come across any questions like that, definitely check with your CPA. So I always like to mention that. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and select the classifications now for our different workers. So we'll say that we have 3 employees. So I'm going to add these here. And then our last employee here, Jennifer White, she is a contractor. So I'll go ahead and select contractor for Jennifer White. And then we will go ahead and click next. Let me click on that. All right, and it's just saving that, and then we'll go to the next step here. So the next step is self-setup invites. So this is really nice because you can either invite workers to enter their own details. So basically they will receive an email and they can fill out all of their their information themselves. Or I do want to point out that something new that we've added just in the last couple of weeks here is that you can instead choose not to send email invites at this time. If you wanted to do that, and instead you can input the worker's information yourself if you would like to. So you have the option here whether you want to send those self setup invites or not. And if you already have the information at hand, you could just do it yourself, as an admin if you wanted to. But for this one, I'm going to go ahead and you can actually select all of these workers at the same time. For convenience. Let's say, for example, that you wanted to send the self-setup invites to these first 3 employees here. But let's say for Jennifer White, for the contractor, maybe you don't want to send the self-setup invites and you'll just add the information yourself. So I'm just going to go ahead and not check Jennifer White right now. And then I'll just go ahead and click next. Okay. Perfect. So this is also where we do some additional setup. So this is where we complete each worker's information so we can get them all ready for payday. And of course, as you can see here, workers that have been invited to self-setup, they're going to enter their own details. So I can just go ahead and click here, and I'm going to click and add some more information for Andre Butler. And this is where you can just say if they're eligible for overtime or not. I'm going to go ahead and let's say yes, and then I will add a hire date. I'll just go back here. Let's say that Andre was hired in June of last year. So I'll just go ahead and click that date and then click done. And what you'll notice there too, what just happened, because as you recall in the last step, we did the self-setup invite for Andre. So you can see here, now it shows that Andre was already invited. So he has received an email where he can go and set up his information himself. Okay, so I'm not going to go ahead and finish all of these workers here, but just so you guys can get a little bit of a taste of that process. So you would just go and continue finishing the setup that way. All right, let me go ahead and click done. Okay, so once you guys have gotten your team ready and set up your workers and send out those self-service invites, next you're going to fill in your tax information. So again, I'm not going to fill out every single field here, but just to give you guys a little bit of an overview of what that's going to look like. So we'll go ahead and start that. So we will add our general tax information, and then it'll go into the federal tax info and the state tax info. So I'll go ahead and I can just add the company legal name here. So let me just add that now. I'll call the 4 Palm Salon and Spa. And then you'll just pick your tax filing address. So we'll click that. And then now it goes into the federal tax information. So I can go ahead and add an employer identification number. Just for the purposes of this demo, I'm just going to add a fake one here. And then right here, you'll select your federal deposit schedule. In this example, I'm just going to choose monthly. So let's just do that. And then let's just say the effective date is April 1st, 2024. Go ahead and click next. And then this is where we'll enter our state tax information. In this example, it is for Florida. So then it goes through a couple questions, again, based on whatever state you add, based on the address that you set up for the work location, that's going to dictate the state tax info that goes here, of course. So for this one, I'm just going to say we don't have that yet. Then you can enter the unemployment tax rate. Let me go ahead and just add a number here. And then you can just say the effective date. I'll just use April 1st, and then we'll go ahead and save that. Okay, perfect. So that is now saved. Then what we need to do is add our company bank account information. So again, this is just the bank account that you're going to use for taxes and your direct deposit to payments as well. So let's go ahead and start that. So at this point, you would go through and add the name on the account, the routing number, the account number, then choose what type of account it is. I'm not going to go through all of that here, but basically what's going to happen is once you add your company bank account information, then we, as you can see here, it says on the screen, we're going to send 2 small deposits to verify your account. That could take up to 2 business days, but those will be two, micro deposits. You'll see those on your account, and then you'll be able to come back here and add the micro deposits information to get the account verified. So let me go ahead and just close out of that for now. Just wanted to show you guys what that looks like. And then next you would sign the company documents. So you can, of course, we need your signature to pay and file your payroll taxes for you. So I would just go ahead and click start. So you would add your company signatory. Again, that person is the person you have in your business who is responsible for signing government forms. Typically, this would be the owner of the salon or spa, but it can vary. It might not always be the owner. So if you need any guidance on that, again, check with your CPA or another payroll professional. So I'm not going to go ahead and fill all that out at this time, but you can see all the information that you would need for that company signatory. So let me go ahead and just close out of that for now. And then, and there we go. And then, like I said before, once you verify those micro deposits, you would just do that right here. Once you have those handy, and then you add them back here where it says verify company bank account. And then that's basically all the information you would need to kind of get started as an employer on the employer side with getting started with payroll processing. So that's just a little bit of an overview of what those steps would look like so that you all know what to expect for when you actually go to sign up for payroll processing. And then later, once you finish filling this out, something to point out as well is that even when you're done setting this up initially, it's going to be really easy to go back later to, let me close this out. You'll go back here to settings like we're in now, and then click on business setup that we're in, and click back here to the payroll processing screen, and you'll be able to access your account setup later and adjust your information. So we make it really easy to go back and update your information as needed. So that's kind of an overview of the steps that you'll complete as an employer when you actually go to sign up for payroll processing. So next, I do want to switch gears a little bit, and I want to show you guys a salon that's already finished the payroll processing onboarding steps. So you can see kind of what that account looks like once they're already set up to use payroll processing, and we'll show you also our new payroll report as well. So let me go ahead and just switch screens right now, and then we'll 1 moment here. I'll stop sharing real quick. And then I'm just going to hop over to another account here. Okay. Let me just give that a second to load. All right, so I'm back here in another Mangomint account at the 4 Aspen Salon and Spa. Now what I want to do now that we're in this other account here where payroll processing is already set up is I want to check out, how does this look like for your staff members once they're already enrolled in payroll processing? So what we're going to do now is let's click on settings, and then go over here, and you'll actually click on staff members, and we can kind of take a little bit of a tour around and see what it looks like for your staff members, specifically their compensation settings. So as you can see here, I'm just going to click through some staff members. You can see here when you click on the compensation tab right here for Andre Butler, if we scroll down, you can see that Andre is pending an invite for payroll processing. So we've invited him to enroll in payroll processing, but he hasn't yet completed his setup. We could, of course, resend the invite if we wanted to. I'll just click through a couple other people here. We look at Drake. Drake is also a pending invite for payroll processing. Let me go ahead and click on Olivia Taylor. you can see here, she is active in payroll processing. So she is successfully enrolled. And if she wanted to access her payroll setup, we could do that right here. Let me go and click on Bridget as well, just to show you that. So here's Bridget, another worker that we have that's set up in payroll processing. If I scroll down here, let me scroll down a little bit more. You can see that Bridget is also active in payroll processing. And as I'm going to go up here a little bit too, just so you can see some of these compensation settings. So basically, this is where we can adjust all of the different compensation settings for Bridget. So, we have her service commission. Of course, you can adjust that to any percentage that you wanted to, or even do the sliding scale service commission, product commission settings. So again, you could do, I just set the default percentage there to 10% in this example. Do whatever you need there based on the type of the compensation that you're offering at your salon or spa, whatever structure that you guys are following. And then we also have the hourly setting. So you can choose that. Of course, there's also a salary option if you wanted to use that. So depending on, what compensation structure you offer, you can see here that it's super flexible and you can really set this up however you need to. Something too, I want to call out, this is really cool. And this is something that we've added really recently as well as one of our enhancements to our payroll processing and our compensation settings, is that when you look at this hourly settings right here, we have a couple options here now. So you'll see here, you can choose a regular hourly compensation, or if you want, you could enable this new setting that we've added. So if you go down here, you can see that we have added this new setting called enable greater of calculation. And so basically what you can do, if you enable that, it's going to compare the hourly and the commission earnings on a daily basis. That's important to point out. It is on a daily basis, and only use the higher amount as compensation. And then you can even, let me open this one. You can select exactly which commission types are going to be included in this greater of calculation. So you can base it off of service commissions, product commissions only, or you could do a combination of service and product commissions. So it's basically going to look, at the system's going to look every day and look at the earnings on a daily basis and compare the hourly versus the commission earnings. So that's something, that a lot of our customers are interested in. So wanted to definitely call that out. So you could definitely use that if you need to. For this example, I'm going to go ahead and I'm not going to use that setting for now. We're just going to use the regular hourly compensation for Bridget, but that's something I wanted to call out. So let's also pretend, I want to show you guys, how you would add a new staff member to payroll processing, because as you go, you're going to be hiring new staff members throughout the year, things like that, especially if you're a growing salon or spa and you're adding more staff members. So it's super easy to add new staff members to payroll processing whenever you need to. So I'm going to click on Garrett here. So Garrett is somebody that we have just recently hired at the Four Aspens Salon and Spa. And so if I wanted to invite Garrett to payroll processing, all I need to do is scroll down. And then right here, we can just invite to payroll processing right here. So I'll just go ahead. I can click sign up. And then you'll just choose, how is Garrett Marshall employed? Let's pretend that Garrett is a W-2 employee. I would go ahead and click continue, and then I would just send the invite at that time. So I can go ahead and send that invite. And that'll just be sending. Okay, and now we can see that the staff member has been invited. So at this point now, Garrett will have received an email to go ahead and set up his payroll. So he'll go ahead and go and add all of his information. So it's super easy for all of your staff members as well when you add them to payroll processing. So let me go ahead and just click OK. Now we can see that Garrett is pending invite. So it's always really easy to go in here at any time and check the status of any of your workers that you've added to payroll processing. Okay, so we've kind of checked out some of the different compensation settings and how you can add new staff members to payroll processing whenever you need to. So now I want to show you guys our new payroll report and also show you how to run payroll in Mangomint. So let me go ahead and go over to our payroll screen. So basically, whenever you're ready to both run payroll and then also whenever you want to view payroll reporting, you're going to go to that payroll screen, and that's going to be right here. I'm just going to click on more. Of course, it might show already payroll up here in the top, depending on how big your screen is. In this example, I just need to click on more and then I'll see it right there. So now, right now I'm in the new payroll screen. And something else really important to call out as well is that this payroll screen that you're seeing here and all of this payroll reporting, this is available for all Mangomint customers. So even if you're not signed up for payroll processing, you're not using that add-on, you can come in here at any time and use all of the payroll reporting. So definitely wanted to mention that too. So let's go ahead and generate a report, and I'll kind of walk you guys through our payroll report. So let me click generate report here. And we'll just give that a second to load. Okay, perfect. So here's our payroll report. Something you might notice here, in case you guys caught our payroll processing launch webinar that we did in early December, you will notice here that the payroll report has actually, the design of the recent payroll report that we launched has been updated a little bit. So we are constantly listening to customer feedback, and we're continually evolving the design of this payroll report to meet our customers' needs. So let us know if you have any feedback, and we'll definitely take that into consideration. So what you'll notice here is that this is really nice because all the information that you need is on a single screen, and we've also reduced the number of clicks. When you're kind of navigating around here, it's really easy to just go through and see everything that you need in a single screen here. So as you're looking at this, of course, you can see the names of your different staff members, and then you can see, all the key information that you need for payroll. So the hours that they worked, their hourly compensation, their service, how many services, their service sales, their service compensation, how many products they sold, their product sales, their product compensation, tips, and of course the total. So we have all of that right here, really easy to see. And let me scroll down a little bit. I'm going to check out some payroll reporting for Bridget. So we're already looking at Bridget right now. Of course, if you wanted to collapse that and say you wanted to look at Olivia's information, you can easily just collapse that by clicking. Or let's say we want to collapse both of them. You just click again, and now they're both collapsed. But I'm going to go ahead and click back on Bridget. And then let's say, for example, I'm just going to scroll down here a little bit. So let's check out the information for January 15th. So let's say we want to check that out in a little bit more detail. So as you can see here, Bridget had a lot of different services that she did and products that she sold on January 15th. So we can see a full overview of all of her service and her product commission. We can see, everything broken out really nicely. So all the details about that. If we wanted, we could click into a sale and it would actually take us directly to that sale, which is really nice. And then, of course, you can see all of the tips information as well. So all the tips she received, and then her hourly pay. So this is really nice. And then something else that you can do here is when you're looking at all the details for a specific day, something that you can do is that you can easily add pay adjustments directly on this same screen. So this is really nice. Maybe you wanted to give a one-time bonus, or it's really great for any situation where you need to make some type of pay adjustment. Let's say, for example, let's say that Bridget stayed really late to help a VIP client or something, and you want to give her kind of a one-time spot bonus. This would be a great example of, reason to give a pay adjustment. So we'll go here and you can select the type. And as you can see here, we have a bunch of different types available to choose from, so you can keep things really organized. So in this example, I'm just going to choose bonus, and then you'll just add your amount here. And then you can just add a description if you want to. So I'm just going to add that. And then we'll just hit create. Okay, perfect. And then as we can see, now that we created that pay adjustment, we can see it right here. And of course, if you needed to delete that, super easy to do that. You can just go through, if you needed to add pay adjustments on additional days, you could easily do that as well. So I'll just continue kind of scrolling through here. As you can see, it's really easy to expand or collapse the details for each day as you need to. So I can just show you how that works. Again, you can just click. If you want to collapse something, you just click on that date, or if you want to expand it again, you'll just click right there. Let me scroll up a bit. And something else that I want to show you guys too is that we have some options at the top here. So let me click on those just to show you guys what those are. So when we click on our options, this is really nice because this is where you'll go whenever you want to view your past payroll runs. If you ever need to run off-cycle payroll, you would just go right here and click Run Off-Cycle Payroll. And then this is also where you can kind of fine-tune your report settings. So as you can see here, we have a couple different options here. So we made it really easy to find those settings. So on the first one here, you can choose to include days with no compensation, or if you don't want to see all of those days, you can just go ahead and disable that. And then this is a really cool setting. I like this setting because it gives a lot of flexibility in terms of how you kind of experience this payroll report. Is you can choose to expand all sections. So I have that enabled already. So that basically means that, since this is enabled for me, it's always going to show the expanded view of the report, including all the staff and details that we saw before. But if you didn't want to have all of those automatically expanded, then you would just disable that toggle. So it's really easy, depending on what you want to see when you first come into the payroll report screen, depending on how you like to experience the report, you can adjust that to your liking. So always like to point that out as well. Okay. So let me go ahead and close those options. And now let me show you guys what it looks like to actually run payroll in Mangomint. So I'll go ahead and go here. And after you generate a report, of course, you would choose the specific time period you want to. In this example, I'm just going to leave it selected up to the payroll period of January 12th to January 25th. And then you'll just, of course, select the pay group. I already have the correct pay group selected. It's those that are enabled for payroll processing. That's going to be Bridget and Olivia. So let's go ahead and click Run Payroll. Okay, so now that is generating the next report, and then we'll just be able to submit it in a minute. Okay, perfect. So there are a couple errors that I need to fix here, and I love this because these are really helpful to make sure that I set up the dates correctly. So it's kind of, think of this as like guidance for you as you're going through to submit your payroll. So let me go ahead and I'm going to update this pay date here. Okay, and I'm actually, because we didn't set up Garrett all the way yet, I'm going to go ahead and just not include Garrett Marshall in this payroll run. There we go. So now we're just going to run payroll for Bridget and Olivia, as we can see here. You can also see the pay method. So we pay Bridget by direct deposit, but we pay Olivia by paper check. You can see all of the information about, everything broken out in terms of their hourly compensation, product, services, commission, all of that, as well as that bonus that we added. So there's where that comes in. And then now, of course, we can see the total hours worked and the gross pay. So once everything looks good there, you can check it out. And then we'll just go ahead and click next. Click on that. And then this screen gives you kind of one more place to review everything, make sure all the dates and the amounts look good. And then you can even choose to view the details as well. So when I click on that, this is really nice because it kind of goes into additional transaction details. So we can see here all the information about Bridget for this particular payroll run. So you can go here and just see all of that. So I'll just kind of scroll through so you all can see that. And then, of course, we can see the net pay there. So I'll go ahead and close that. And then all we need to do now is submit payroll. So let me go ahead and click the submit payroll button, and we'll let that submit. This, of course, this little reminder, it says up next, write checks. So this is just a reminder because we do have one worker who does get paid by paper check. This is a reminder for me to, write them and deliver them on Monday, February 5th. So I'll just go ahead and click done. There we go. And then we see that your payroll has been submitted. So nice little green checkbox there. We can see the total payroll, the debit date, and the debit amount. So we have all that information there. So we've done it. We've run our payroll, and now we'll just go ahead and click done. So let me go ahead and click that. And then if I wanted to go back and see the past payroll runs, we can just go back in here. and we can see the one that I just submitted, as well as all of these past payroll runs as well. So you can always go back in here, check out all the information about your past payroll runs if you need to go back and reference anything. So let me go ahead and close that out. So as you can see, that was super fast and easy to run our payroll in Mangomint. And you can see, once you get set up with this process, you can see just how fast it'll be every pay period to just go in there and run your payroll. Okay, so I do want to check and see if we have any questions that have come in during the webinar before we close this out, because I think there are a couple questions. Let me look here. Okay, I do see a question. So somebody has asked, what if I offer benefits for my employees? Can I add information about those directly in Mangomint? Okay, that's a great question. I'm really glad that you brought this up, because we have actually added a recent enhancement around this. So yes, so if you offer benefits for your employees, you can add information about those directly in Mangomint. So just within the last few weeks, in January, we've added a way for employers to add information about any benefits that you offer. So if you offer things like retirement or health benefits, if you offer that, you can manage your deductions and contributions for those in Mangomint, in your payroll setup, in your payroll account setup. Again, that will be in the business setup that I showed you guys previously. So that's something really new and exciting that we have just added. And then also, kind of on a similar topic, I want to point out is that we already have the benefits available in terms of being able to add all the information for those, the deductions and things like that in Mangomint. But also, pretty soon, we're going to be adding an easy way to set up and manage your time off for sick leave, vacations, things like that. So that will be coming very soon as well. So stay tuned for that. We are going to be releasing that update very soon here. So great question. Thank you for asking that. There's another question too I want to make sure we get to. Somebody has asked, is there a limit to how many times I can run payroll? So great question. Thank you for asking that. So no, there is no limit to how many times you run payroll. You can basically do off-cycle runs whenever you need to as well. So if you need to do a run that's outside of your normal pay schedule, like an off-cycle run, you can do that whenever you need to. We offer unlimited payroll runs. So there aren't extra fees or anything like that for additional payroll runs. So yeah, completely unlimited. You can do as many payroll runs as you need to. Okay, let me look here. I think we have one more question before we close out. So let me check this out. So our last question here is, where will workers access their pay stubs? Great question as well. For all of your workers, you want to make it as easy as possible for them to get their pay stubs, right? So they have all that information at hand. So workers can really easily view their digital pay stubs inside of their Mangomint account. So they'll just log into Mangomint. We have a menu item that's called My Payroll. So they'll go in there, they'll just click on My Payroll, and then they'll be able to see all of their digital pay stubs. So that is a great question as well. Okay, well, I think we've gotten through all of our questions in today's feature spotlight, and we're nearing our time here. So I want to make sure we're conscious of everybody's time and give you some more time in your day. So I think we're going to wrap it up here. Something else before we wrap up is I just want to kind of call out again that the current status in terms of payroll processing, who can use this right now. So payroll processing is currently available for all US customers with a single location. And very soon, we're also going to be adding support for those with multiple locations. So definitely stay tuned for more information about that. And also, pretty soon, we're also going to be adding support for businesses located in Canada as well. So definitely stay tuned for updates on all of that as we continue to release more enhancements to payroll processing. And of course, if you have any questions about payroll processing, anything that you've seen here today in terms of this payroll report or running the payroll or getting actually, set up as an employer to start using payroll processing, whatever the question may be, definitely chat with our support team. They are experts in payroll processing with Mangomint, and so they'll be able to help you out. And we also have a lot of great documentation on our Learning Center. Okay, well, thank you so much, everybody, for tuning into today's Feature Spotlight. Really enjoyed having you all and excited for you to start using payroll processing. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day. Bye.